My buddy sent me a message that he was going through the tunnel at like 7:45 this morning, and he said he was sitting in really terrible traffic.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, imagine. So
We also have people who are driving and then they're looking where the bridge used to be, so they're slowing it up. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's crazy. I woke up at like 9:45, so like 65 text messages. Like I didn't know what the fuck happened.
I got people texting me making sure I wasn't on the bridge because they know I'm from Dundalk. So like they think like I live on the bridge. Like, well, I'm not a bridge troll, dude. But it's it. I mean, you can see the thing lose power, regain power, lose power again, and then it starts smoking right before it hits the bridge.
Thank God the dudes in the like container ship radioed the like transportation people so they could at least shut down some people going across it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't read anything on it. I've just watched the videos. Were there any confirmed deaths?
I don't know for sure. I know that there's a ton of people missing, but
what's a ton?
I don't know.
Construction workers were on the bridge.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, there's cars in the harbor and everything. Yeah.
I think there was only like probably 3 or 4 cars since it was in the middle of the night, but still,
yeah,
could have been way worse if it was during the day.
Apparently, one of the guys who fell off the bridge went in and didn't need any medical attention. He was totally fine.
He jumped off the bridge?
Well, he was on the bridge and ended up in the water, but he completely came out unscathed, which is outrageous. I'm thinking he went in like Greg Louganis or something. I'm not 100% sure. We don't need to joke about this.
No.
We need to laugh at Baltimore. Oh man.
Just the thought of you have 2 options: die or jump off a bridge.
Yeah. It's crazy. Oh man.
Bueno.
It's gonna take 5 years to repair that thing.
Oh yeah. And the harbor is, I mean that.
Hopefully they can get it cleared out relatively quickly in a couple weeks or something, so at least ships can get through the channel.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at the port getting screwed, and you're looking at the cruise line, which I guess is also technically the port. Get screwed.
And then the just traffic everywhere is just going to be even worse than it already was, which was already terrible.
Yeah.
And if you want to get around, I mean, you're other than taking the tunnels, like a tractor trailer can't go through a tunnel. So the Harbor Tunnel and the Fort McHenry Tunnel, like tractor trailers are just going to have to go all the way around 695 if they want to get to Dundalk from Glen Burnie.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Ugh.
You guys want to start, or should we wait is Foy going to come on, or what?
He is. He said he's got a work call right now, but he'll be on in like 15 minutes. So
okay. Yeah, we can
just start. I told him just to join in whenever he's ready.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture podcast. Pretty terrible news this morning with the Key Bridge collapsing overnight. We don't really. We're still kind of getting information. We're praying for everyone to be safely rescued. We don't really know any numbers, but obviously this is going to be a huge blow to the Baltimore community economy, and we're really just devastated by all that. But I think on a lighter note, I don't know if you guys want to talk about that any more than we already have, just leading up into the show. But I think we're here kind of just put a smile on people's faces, get their minds off of that kind of stuff. So we're gonna switch it real quick to baseball, and we're gonna get into some Orioles roster stuff. Colton Cowser, Jordan Westberg make the team. Jackson Holliday, Stowers, Kobe Mayo, Norby, Heston Kierstad, some guys that we thought could have made the team out of spring training, will be starting the season in the minors. Do you guys have any thoughts on Holiday staying down, Stowers, Mayo?
I think we kind of talked about it in previous podcasts. We thought, Holiday would go down because of the options and the train to and from Norfolk. Stowers surprised me because he was swinging a hot stick. And I think we all kind of were in agreement that you ride the hot hand, then you can send him down and he cools off a little bit. So I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for keeping Cowser either. I mean, it's a good option as well. Does anybody know how healthy Seti is right now? I mean, after that little mishap with his hammy or whatever. So I don't know if this is just. I mean, I guess Stowers can play there too, but I don't know if this was a play for that or what. But or this is an option play. I don't know who has less options between Cowser and Stowers, but yeah, Jackson Holiday going down there. I think it seems like a lot of people in Baltimore are pissed about it because everyone seems to think that he's ready. But I mean, let's go get him some at bats. Right now, he's not going to get as many at bats in the majors if he comes up and makes the team. So the guy's probably still going to win. Knock on wood, win Rookie of the Year. So let's just be a little bit patient here.
I mean, everyone likes the new hot thing, right? They love the potential, so they want it. They want it right now. Right now, just let it breathe. Let it breathe, and he'll be up, and he's gonna succeed.
Yeah. With regards to what you said about Cedric Mullins, he left earlier this spring with discomfort, but he got back in the lineup towards the end of spring, so he should be good to go for opening day. Now a couple more things. Colton Wong and Julio Teheran were released. These were guys that we signed for like basically minor league or vet minimum deals. We thought maybe had a chance to make the opening day roster. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. And Ryan McKenna out of options, but also out of the opening day roster. It looks like Tyler Nevin is going to get that last bench spot. At the end of the day, it's the last bench spot. It's not a huge deal. Tyler Nevin provides a lot of versatility in the infield in case somebody needs a day off, that kind of thing. And he had a pretty good spring. But we've kind of seen the ceiling of Tyler Nevin. So I don't want to trash the guy. I really hope he does well. But with all these guys in the pipeline, I don't think he's going to be a mainstay for the major league roster either.
Did McKenna clear waivers?
That I don't know. I think they're going to try to keep him. Obviously, the organization likes him. He's been sticking around for a while, but I don't know exactly what's going on with him. I think we'll find out more. I do want to talk quickly about this Ohtani stuff. He talked to the media yesterday. I didn't really get a lot out of it other than he was reiterating what his team said, which is what his translator was stealing and borrowing money to pay off gambling debts. Do we think the translator is like a fall guy here? Do we think Ohtani was just trying to help his buddy out and like kind of just fell ass backwards into this weird ass situation? I don't know. What's going on? You guys want to speculate on this a little bit?
Brooks, go ahead, man.
I think God knows what. It's hard to say. I don't understand how he has this much credit to be racking up in debt with some of these guys, unless it's not him. I mean, the guy makes $500,000 a year, so I mean, they're giving him what $4.5 million credit or more. That's kind of ridiculous. I don't. That seems a little far fetched unless they just know that Ohtani will pay his debt. I mean, and I saw Pete Rose's thing where he's like, "Man, if I had an interpreter, I would have got out scot free too." So I mean, it's hard to say. So there's just so much benefit. There's so much doubt here that like you can't say one way or the other. Could he have been 100%? Could he not have been 100%? Like I don't know, to be honest with you. But it does seem a little far fetched that the interpreter gets this much credit with a bookie with his salary.
Yeah, there seems like there's more here. I mean, they're not betting through DraftKings or FanDuel; they're betting through an illegal bookmaker. And if an illegal bookmaker is going to give a guy a $4 million marker, and there was Ohtani like said something about like two $500,000 payments are taken from his computer. So what happened to that other $3.5 million?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Is that an interpreter who's been with Ohtani? I mean, I can't imagine he's been making $500,000 for the last 7 years. And the Dodgers are at fault in this too. All of a sudden now, that what I got out of that press conference was a smear campaign. He lied about where he went to school. He lied about working for the Red Sox. He lied about working for the Yankees. Is there no vetting process for the Dodgers? They just were like, oh, fuck, we need Ohtani, so we're just going to let this guy be here.
See, that even makes me feel even more that this is probably Ohtani and he's this guy's just being the fall guy, because the way they're building the story against him right now is something where they want him to be the fall guy. They're really painting this picture of how bad of a dude and he's a liar and all this different stuff. So it doesn't look good.
Well, if he's the fall guy, he better get a $10 million check from Ohtani.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah. By all accounts, they were best friends too. I just think it's super weird. Yeah, I totally agree with what you said, Brooks. He's not getting a $4.5 million line of credit from any bookie unless you're Phil Mickelson, or I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't get it at all. I do want to note that Ohtani's teammates from the Angels and the Dodgers have basically said he does not watch other sports other than baseball. He doesn't like other sports. He is so locked in on baseball. So I don't think he's going to be betting on other stuff. I just think it could get super weird if these bets do come out and there's stuff on baseball. It could get ugly. And I really hope that's not the case, because baseball desperately needs Ohtani. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I just think this whole situation is super bizarre, and I think everyone really thinks the same thing.
I mean, look, he did everything he's supposed to do in regards to denial. I mean, he came out and made a very clear and concise statement that he never did it. Now, he's hitched his wagons to that. If something comes out, if they find a fingerprint on anything, that looks really bad. But this is the biggest player in the game, and probably the biggest player in sports right now. This is going to get swept under the rug. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I hope so. I mean, because if not, this is a very, very big black eye for baseball.
Yeah, totally agree.
I mean, could be even worse than the steroid era.
Yeah. Just after we recorded last week, Blake Snell signed a 2-year, $62 million deal with the San Francisco Giants. He has a player opt out after the first year, so basically half of the money is year one, half the money is year two. If he wants to test free agency again next year, he is definitely going to be able to do that. Another domino falling in the Boris puzzle, or in the Boris zone, where he just not getting these guys the long-term contracts they're looking for. And as Orioles fans, we've got a couple of guys in the pipeline, Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson, most notably, that are Boris guys. I don't know if he's not going to be able to lock down these long-term deals. Are they going to stay with that guy? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I was going to pose the same question to you. I mean, this has to hurt Boris. And now you got these guys coming out and they want to get rid of somebody in the MLBPA or something like that, because
they did overnight. It was bizarre. Yeah.
So wild. So this definitely hurts Boris in the long run.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of helps us too. Hopefully, this will help them be a little bit more inclined to think about taking a long-term deal if we make an offer towards them. Send an offer their way before the end of our control over them, which would be a stupid thing for them to take, to be honest with you. But I mean, if this stuff keeps happening, maybe they'll be a little bit more inclined to listen. So,
anyway, we've done enough deliberating about this past news. I think let's get into the MLB preview. All of these odds for divisions, over under win totals, are from DraftKings from Sunday afternoon. They could have changed slightly. No big news has happened, so these numbers should be relatively close to what you guys are going to be seeing on any gambling sites you're going to go through. But we're just going to go through right now, division by division, pick our winners, and we're going to take notes of who has the most winners at the end of the season, and we'll give them a little prize, or maybe we'll pie somebody else in the face, or we'll let you guys maybe decide how that goes. But we're going to start with the AL Central. The Twins are the favorites to win this division at -115. What do you guys see in this division? Who do you like?
I'm going to go real clear and concise. I like Cleveland. I'm going the Guardians.
Okay. Brian's got Cleveland.
Yeah, I gotta go Cleveland too, man. I think the Royals are actually going to surprise a lot of people this year, but I think it's going to be a battle between the Twins and the Guardians, and I think I'm taking the Guardians as the winner of the division.
I agree with you. I think the Royals are going to surprise people. They won less than 60 games last year. Their over under this year is like 75 or something like that. I think they can make a huge jump. But yeah, I don't think this division's going past the Twins or the Guardians. I'm going to take the Twins. I think their lineup and their pitching staff is just the best clearly in this division. But this division's pretty weak. Last year, I think the Twins won with less than 90 wins. So
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got the Twins, 2 for the Guardians, and we will go to the AL East. This is our favorite division. Orioles are in this division. We are tied as with DraftKings on Sunday. We are tied with the Yankees at plus 185 each as co-favorites to win this division. I'm going to go right off the bat and say the Orioles. I think this division got worse. I think the Rays got worse. The Red Sox got way worse. I think the Red Sox are going to be terrible. I don't think the Blue Jays did hardly anything in the offseason to make me think that they're going to get better. In fact, they lost Matt Chapman, so I think that's going to hurt them. And the Yankees are missing Garrett Cole for 2 months, 3 months, the whole year.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Who knows?
I know they traded for Juan Soto, but look, I mean, the Orioles, we have the depth. If people get hurt, we have people that can replace them. We have firepower for a trade. I know this is going to be a homer pick, but I'm going O's for sure.
I'm right there with you. I'm going Orioles. It's a no-brainer here. I am stunned that the Yankees are even odds with the Orioles. I don't understand with all the pieces they're missing already, and inevitably more injuries are going to happen.
I 100% agree with both you. I don't understand it either. This doesn't make any sense. Even at full strength, I don't see why we're even odds. Maybe a little closer, but yeah, I agree with Dustin too. I don't think anybody did a ton to get that much better. The Yankees got a little bit better with Soto, but with all the injuries, there's no way these should be even odds. What's up, boy?
What's up,
boy?
How's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Good.
Yeah, man.
Gotcha.
We're going over our division picks currently, Sean. So you've only missed you've only missed the AL Central.
Cool.
We're talking about the AL East at the moment.
Here,
that works.
I'll put the notes in the chat for you. 1 second.
Just to continue, we just finished up the AL East. Foy, who you got winning the AL East?
Birds.
Hell yeah. Birds.
Don't even need a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Yankees, if they stay healthy, they'll still be pretty good. They won't stay healthy because that's not what they do. They're very old. I mean, Cole being out as a killer, he's a stud. I mean, maybe they get Rodon bounces back, and maybe Nestor stays healthy, and their lineup is. I mean, Soto's a stud, but I think they've just got so many question marks that they'll hang around. You know, I could see them getting a wild card spot or at least being competitive, but I don't. They need so many things to go right, I think, for them to win 95 games. So and the other team, I mean, the other teams are flawed too. We expect Tampa to fall back like every year. They never do. So I don't think they will. They'll probably be on our coattails all year, and who knows with Toronto. But I think we've got the most complete roster. I mean, who knows? It's a 6-month grind. You never know what could happen, but feel pretty good about it.
All right, we are unanimous for the Orioles as the first division that we are unanimous on. We will see if that keeps if that trend continues, or we'll look at the AL West now. Astros are minus 110. They're the prohibitive favorites to win this division. Right behind them is the Rangers at plus 230 and the Mariners at plus 285. After that, it is a complete dumpster fire. Besides Mike Trout. What do we think about the AL West? I'm going to go ahead and pick right off the bat. I got the Mariners at plus 285. I think the Mariners are going to win this division. They've got ridiculous depth at pitch in their starting rotation. I love the young, hungry nature of the team. I love Julio Rodriguez. I think he's one of the favorites to win the MVP this year. So I'm going to go with the Mariners.
Book it. Same.
Book it. Ooh, we got 2 for the M's.
I'll stick with the Astros. I'll stick with the Astros just because they've been there, done that. I don't see the Rangers doing what they did last year, and to be honest with you, they just got hot at the end of the year. I seriously think it's just going to be to win the division. It's going to be between the Astros and Mariners, and I'll pick against you guys just so we have some difference here. I'll take the Astros, and they've been there and done it, so I'll stick with them.
I've also got the Astros. I could totally see the Mariners winning it. Their pitching is filthy, and they're kind of right on the cusp. I don't know. The Astros are just tough to knock off until you do it. And I could see the Rangers winning it. Their offense is so loaded, but they weren't even great last year. They won in the 80s. Like they kind of squeaked into the playoffs, and then obviously got crazy hot. And they don't have Montgomery anymore, though. I guess they could bring him back. He's still out there, but Scherzer's a huge question mark. So is DeGrom, and is Eovaldi still going to be that good? But their lineup is insane, so they're not going to be bad. But I'll take the Astros. I guess they're until someone beats them, they're tough to bet against. But I could totally see the Mariners winning. Their pitching is filthy.
The top three teams in this division are really good. All three would be prohibitive favorites to win the Central for sure. But the Angels, I don't see much outside of Trout, really. Rendon's their 4-hitter. I'm out on that guy. I'm out on that team. And I think the Athletics have a chance to really be one of the worst teams in MLB history this year. I'm not kidding. I think they're over-under. When we get to over-under win totals, their over-under is 57 wins, and I'm taking a massive under. I don't think they're going to get 50 wins. I don't know. I don't see how. If you look at their lineup, it's like looking at the 2018 Orioles. I don't know any of the names. It's a complete joke. Anyway.
will they have more wins or more fans in the stands?
Who knows? If I'm in Oakland, why the hell would you go to one of these games? They don't give a shit about that city, but whatever. That's a whole can of worms for another day. But
only they have like dollar hot dog day or something. Like I'll go to the game, sure, because I want to eat. I'm not going to watch baseball.
They should have free hot dog day. They should have to give away people. You get free hot dog with your $5 ticket. Anyway. We're going to move on to the National League Central. Cubs and Cards kind of lockstep here. Cubs plus 185, Cards plus 190. So they're kind of back and forth on who's going to win that division between those two. And then the Reds, sneaky, plus 350. And the Brewers, who've been pretty competitive in this division the last 5 years, but just traded Corbin Burns to our Orioles, are plus 750. And the Pirates are actually not too big of long shots. I don't see the Pirates making that much of a move. What do you guys have on this division?
Give me the Cubbies. Craig Counsell, sways it for me.
I missed it though. Sorry. Who did you guys have in the AL Central? Just curious.
I had the Minnesota Twins. They both had the Guardians.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Who do you got?
Gun to my head, just like quick. Sorry, I got the news on these pictures. Are just wild. I guess I would say Twins. I could see the Guardians too, but I think Twins pitching is better, though they don't have Sonny Gray anymore. But sorry, didn't mean to go backward. Just curious.
Oh no, you're good, dude.
NL Central.
Yep.
Fuck it. I'm gonna go the Reds. I'd love to see the Reds get hot. Like they probably won't, but why not? Like they got a bunch of young studs. Cincy, Great American Ballpark's awesome. Though I've never been there, but I've heard it's awesome. Let's go Reds, baby.
Dude, I was taking the Reds too, man. I got to take the Cubs because I'm with Brian here. I love Craig Counsell. I think he's a great manager. I don't know why the Cards are plus 190. I don't love that team. I honestly think the Reds are going to come in second in this division or push for first. But I'll stick with the Cubs. Craig Counsell should lead them to a division championship. He's got much better talent on that team all the way around than he did with the Brewers all the time. So I think they'll be fine. But I would love to see the Reds get hot and win this division. I still think they might. So.
I do think that the Cardinals being even odds to win this division is really weird to me. I think they should be more towards the range of the Brewers just because their rotation is so weird. Like their starting rotation is Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn, like a bunch of 35-plus-year-old dudes that are, I guess they're innings eaters, but I mean,
They're
this
gonna
team
get
is
hit
old.
around.
I know, and their best two guys on offense, Arenado and Goldschmidt. I think these guys are studs. They're probably borderline Hall of Famers, both of them. But they really slowed down last year, and hopefully they bounce back. And the Cards are happy because St. Louis being good is good for baseball. It's a great baseball town, but I think that team is super weird. I think this division's weird. I'm going with the Reds. I like the young lineup. I'm taking the Reds. I didn't see enough out of the Cubs pitching staff. And so I'm just gonna keep going with the young teams. I got the Orioles, I got the Mariners, and let's go with the Reds. I don't know if we lost Brian, but we'll find out. Yeah.
Nice. There's someone's drilling right outside my house. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but
I actually can't. No.
There's a sinkhole literally right outside my front door. So
Jesus.
The whole city of Baltimore is collapsing right now.
For real.
This is ridiculous.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next division is going to be the hardest. Next division is probably going to be the hardest one to pick.
I don't know about that. I'm going with the Braves. In 2023, their slugging percentage as a team was .501. For reference, Manny Machado's slugging percentage in his career is .490. We're talking about a Hall of Fame caliber third baseman, and their team slugging percentage was better than his in his career. I think the Braves are the best team in baseball. I think they're an absolute all-star team. I think they're going to run away with this division in the regular season, and we'll see in the playoffs. The Phillies have got them the last couple of years. The Phillies are built for that. I think the Phillies are going to come in second in this division, go into the playoffs, and scare a ton of teams, just like they have done the last couple of years. I don't think any of the other three teams in this division are going to make any kind of noise. Give me the Braves.
There's nothing else to add there. It's the best way you could put it. Braves.
I got the Braves too. I mean, the Phillies always turn it on late and they're exciting in the playoffs, but I think the Braves are just better pretty much at every spot, even though they've lost to them the last 2 years in a short series. I'm going Braves.
Yeah, I'll take the Braves too. I think the Phillies can get them, like you said, Foy. They can get them in anybody in a short series with the talent they got. But for the long haul, the Braves should chip away and run away with this pretty easily.
Just a note, they are returning their entire starting lineup from last year, except instead in left field of Eddie Rosario, who's like a pretty good average left fielder in the MLB. They have Jared Kelenic now, who was formerly the #1 prospect in baseball. And when careers are struggling, they go to the Braves, and he gets to hit ninth in that lineup. I'm just absolutely terrified by that.
And who knows? Maybe they'll turn back the clock and figure out how to fix Chris Sale. So
yeah. Chris Sale is going to be their #4 starter.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, they're loaded. Last division here is the NL West. Another kind of all-star team here with the Dodgers. A bunch of weird shit going on with Ohtani, but I think even if they lost Ohtani, I think this is still the clear-cut favorite to win this division. I'm going with the Dodgers.
I will go with the Dodgers as well. Experience, Ohtani. I can't pronounce the other pitcher's name. They got whatever. I mean, there's too much talent to ignore, and the rest of the division isn't really that great. I mean, I think the Diamondbacks are the second favorite to win that division, and they're pretty substantial second place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Dodgers as well. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting race between the D-backs, Giants, and Padres for second place. So I think that's going to be a super fun three teams to watch to see who's going to get that. So
yeah, I got Dodgers. They're just good everywhere. I'm excited to see Mookie play shortstop every day. That'll be cool. What a beast. But yeah, it's going to be. I think I got the Dodgers.
Yeah. All right, we've got the division winners in. What do we got for our World Series picks, guys?
Give me the Orioles versus the Atlanta Braves, with the Atlanta Braves winning the World Series.
Orioles lose to the Braves.
I got 1983 all over again. Birds, Philly, Birds win.
Wow.
Except no
Birds.
And again, a catcher wins MVP.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that too.
I was just thinking that on the fly, but yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Damn.
Brooks,
dude, this is tough. How do you bet against Like, how do you pick between the Dodgers and Braves here? Like,
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Orioles, Braves. I mean, that's just the no-brainer pick at this point. I guess. I don't know. Fuck. Yeah. Orioles, Braves. And I'll take the Orioles winning.
All right. Orioles over Braves. I'm going the Braves over the Astros. I know that's not going to be. I'm the only one who didn't pick the Orioles out of us, I think. Yeah, somebody's got to go against the grain here. I think I'm going to take Braves over Astros. The Astros are still completely loaded. Chas McCormick's hitting like 8th in their lineup. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
How much
and
talent they have.
now that Dusty Baker's gone, he can stop keeping him out of the lineup too.
Yeah.
Who is their manager?
That is a great question. Who did they?
That's
Let's look it up
real quick.
I got Google. Houston Astros manager. His name is Joe Espada. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not 100% sure. Doesn't really ring a bell in my head, but
not too familiar.
No.
He's probably
Anyway,
on someone's staff.
So we got our World Series.
He was their bench
in.
coach for the last 6 years.
Yeah. Let's go MVPs. American League MVP, NL MVP. We've got some odds in the notes here. Brian, you start us off here.
I'm going to start with the American League. I'm going to go with Julio Rodriguez.
Julio Rodriguez is 6-1 to win the MVP this year.
Yeah.
I'll go while you guys are looking. I'm going to take Trout 20-1. If Trout has a full healthy season, he's like 4 out of 6 in winning MVPs. I'm just going to take that. It's 20-1. Give me Trout.
I'm going to go Seager if he can keep swinging his bat and stay healthy too. I think it, man. I like Trout too, just because the only other person who's won MVPs against him has been Judge and Ohtani, right? So, fuck.
Yeah. Altuve won one as well.
Yeah. I'll go with Seager. We'll see if he can keep going with what he did last year.
Seager at 10-1. I like it. Sean, what do you got?
I'm gonna go Soto.
I hope not.
I think he's gonna put up crazy numbers in New York. Yeah, I mean, I hope not too. But
that short porch is
awesome.
scary, man.
Yeah,
he's so good, and that short porch is scary. And if him and Judge can both stay healthy the whole year, that middle of that lineup is gonna be fucking terrifying to face.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we got for National League MVP? Rob?
I will take Mr. Pete Alonso.
Oh, Pete Alonso. I like that. That's a little out of left field.
Yep.
Big Meat Pete from Florida.
Big Meat Pete.
Big Meat Pete. One of the best nicknames in the league for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go Trey Turner, 22-1. I think he had a tough start last year, but then the Phillies fans cheered him on, and he went crazy, got crazy hot towards the end. I think that lineup's got a lot of pop. He can set the table, score a ton of runs this year. Give me Trey Turner, 22-1.
I'm gonna go Acuna. He's the best player in the game. I'll take the layup. I'll take the low hanging fruit.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna blame you there.
No.
I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go.
If Ohtani's pitching, I think he wins it, but he's not pitching, so.
I'm gonna go Mookie. Why not? Playing short. He's a stud.
I love it.
I mean, he's not what he's not 24 anymore, but why not?
I think he would have won the MVP. He would have won his second MVP last year if it wasn't for Acuna going 40-70. I mean, it's complete ridiculous. I don't know how many players have won MVP in both leagues, but it's not many.
One of them was an Oriole.
Yeah, I know, Frank.
Yeah,
he's the only one. He's the only one.
He's the only one to do Triple Crown in both leagues. I don't know if he's the only one to win MVP. You could be right there though. Anyway, we're gonna keep going here. We got to do AL Cy Young. Who we got?
Give me Mr. Corbin Burns.
Ooh, newly acquired Oriole Corbin Burns winning MVP for Brian Rogers' fantasy team.
Homer pick.
I love it.
I'm also going to go Burns.
Burns.
He's a stud. He's won it before. He's been in the top 8 the last 5 years, and now he's playing in a massive ballpark with that crazy left field. So,
with
Man,
great
how do they
defense behind him.
Yeah. How do they still got Garrett Cole at plus 2,500? That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean,
yeah, like,
if
even if
he
he's
does come
healthy, he's
back
going to
and
miss a third quarter of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I still don't understand. I say this every year. I don't understand why Gosman is highly rated and why everyone thinks so highly of him, but
his
not my cup of
strikeout
tea.
numbers are crazy.
He's just not my. I hate watching him bitch. Corbin Burns. I agree with everything you guys said.
Man, we're sweeping the board here. I got Corbin Burns too. He's the best number here. He's 8-1. He is the best pitcher in the American League, I think. I do think that the kids in Seattle, one of them could give him a run for his money. I do like Luis Castillo at 10-1. He was the next guy I was looking at, but yeah, we're sweeping the board with Corbin Burns for AL Cy Young. Are we a homer organization? Who knows? But
Probably.
that's what we're doing.
We're a little biased.
a little bit. Going on to the NL side. I'll lead us off here. I know it's terrible odds, but I'm taking Spencer Strider. I think he's absolutely outrageous. His stuff is completely nasty. He's plus 450. These are terrible odds. Do not bet this. But Spencer Strider, I'm going with him.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, the guy throws freaking frisbees. So I'm going Strider. I'll probably even look at the odds. I picked him. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go Zach Wheeler.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Wheeler too. I like Wheeler a lot.
2 for Strider, 2 for Wheeler. All the Cy Young votes coming out of the same division for this group.
Yeah.
I mean, my second pick would have been. I mean, I love Strider too, but like since you guys already talked about, I'm either going Wheeler as my second pick, and then maybe Max Fried.
Fried.
Whatever.
Fried. Yeah, he's a stud too. Yeah, the fact that they have 2 legitimate Cy Young candidates on that team, in addition to that lineup, is just I'm scared of it. We're gonna move on to AL Rookie of the Year. Are we all just gonna take Jackson Holliday, or what's going on?
No, I'm going Colton Cowser. He was my pick before spring training. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm just gonna stick with my gut.
Colton Cowser is 12-1. You can get some good odds there. I like that.
The Moo Man. I'm gonna go with Evan Carter.
Evan Carter is 3-1. I think that's a good pick. The top 2 guys, both on the Texas Rangers, and Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter.
Yep.
Yeah.
I never heard the name the Moo Man before, but that is awesome.
Yeah.
Get it? Because
a cow.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the homer and take Jackson just because I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm taking Jackson Holliday too. I'm not gonna mess around here. I like Cowser, but yeah, I think Holliday is
I hope it's Holliday. I worry that if they don't bring him up until June, maybe he might not play. Those guys have got 2 months heads up on him, but he could totally win it. Wouldn't surprise me. I hope he does.
We do have NL Rookie of the Year to get to as well. I'm gonna go a little down not super down the board. I'm going with the 4th best odds here at 9.5-1. Jackson Merrill from Severna Park High School. Local guy. He's going to be the starting center fielder as a 21-year-old for the San Diego Padres. He's only the third player under 21 years old to ever start make an opening day roster as the starting center fielder. The first 2 were Ken Griffey and some other Hall of Famer. So yeah, I'm going to go with the local guy. Take Jackson Merrill, Severna Park.
I'm going to go Jung Ho Lee. I always like when these guys come over from overseas and they already have plenty of experience.
I like that. I think he's good too.
Yeah.
I will go on Paul Skeens.
Nice. I'm gonna go another local. Go ahead. Sorry.
just because I'm excited to watch him for at least maybe 2 starts before it gets called up here in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to both of those hopefully, but he ain't gonna be here long, I don't think. So
I'm going to Pittsburgh next weekend for 2 of the O's games there. I'm kind of bitter. I'm going to miss him because he's obviously not going to be there yet.
yeah.
I'm going to go another local kid, though he's not up yet. James Wood from the Nats. Kid's
that guy's a stud.
From PG County, went to St. John's for a couple years, and he went down to IMG. Just a total freak. They got him in the Soto trade. That trade looks better and better like every day. He had a crazy good spring. There's no point in him making the roster out of camp just because they're not going to be any good. So he's probably going to come up in like sometime in May, but I think he's going to hit the ground running. He's like Aaron Judge-ish. He's huge.
Yeah. He's a freaking massive human.
They've also got Dylan Cruz that'll probably be up in like May or June too. So they could be like
Yeah.
kind of fun to watch second half of the year.
Dylan Cruz is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Switching over to gambling purposes here, we're going to make a couple picks on our favorite win totals, a couple overs, a couple unders, whatever you guys had notched down. I have a list of everyone's win totals in the chat if you guys want to reference that. But my favorite win total. Well, we could do home run leader.
Do you want to pick home run leader?
Yeah, we can do home run leader. Sure, let's do that. My favorites for home run leader: Judge plus 350, Olsen 6-1, Alonso 7-1, Schwarber 7.5 to 1. I'm gonna go Trout again. I think if Trout's healthy, I think he's got every bit of a chance, and 22 to 1 is ridiculous odds. So Trout.
Yeah, I'll go Soto with the short porch and right, which is scary because I think it's either going to be Soto or it's going to be Judge, and that's just terrifying for Orioles pitching.
I'm going Matt Olson.
Mm-hmm. Guy won last year. He had 54 homers last year, or something like that.
Yeah,
that dude's an animal. Hitting in the middle of the best lineup.
Yeah,
maybe of all time. One of them.
I'm gonna go Soto. I also just logged into FanDuel to look at some win totals and realized I won $140 parlay last night that I forgot I even put in.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
NBA baby, giddy up! I got whored on 2 huge parlays by half a point over the weekend with March Madness, so I was due.
Before I bounce out of here, because I got to go in a second, I just want to switch topics real fast. You seen this stuff about this guy gambling in the NBA?
Yeah, I did see that.
The NBA or the NCAA?
The NBA. So, he's the brother of Michael Porter. I can't pronounce his first name, or it's slipping my mind. He plays for the Raptors. Yeah. An inordinate amount of prop bets came in on all his unders, and he took himself out of the game. 5 minutes in.
Yeah, the NBA is heavily investigating this. It's incredibly weird. I haven't looked super into it, but yeah, not good.
So, I mean,
how dumb can you be?
Pose a question to the group. Who's in a worse position? Is the MLB in a worse position because it's your biggest player and he's, gambling, but he might be gambling on tennis or ping pong? The NBA, or is it the NBA where you have a guy physically is altering the game?
I mean, the MLB has so much more at stake, I would think. Just losing Ohtani would be a complete dumpster fire for the MLB. But yeah, I mean, we've seen this in the NBA before, and it took a while to recover from the Donaghy situation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, I
think the MLB just because it's the biggest star.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah. I mean, I would probably say the MLB as well because of what is at stake.
Yeah. And on top of that, the ref in the NCAA tournament, they had to pull him out of the game because of some stuff that was going on, some ties to different things that they're investigating.
They found out that he had a degree from one of the schools that he was reffing, but they didn't find out till halftime or something.
Yeah, they pulled him out after he hadn't been reffing for a while. He he had ties to a certain university and still had ties there and stuff like that. I'm like, well, if you got a degree there, that's a little.
That's different.
Yeah, millions of people have degrees from some of these big schools.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Brian, did you give us a home run champ?
I went with
Olsen.
Yeah.
Matt Olson. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was just making sure we have that down for clarification's sake. We don't have to do RBI leader. I do want to mention though, I did have Yordan Alvarez last year at 10-1 to have the most RBIs. He missed 40 games and he came up like 10 RBIs short. So I just want to let you know that if this dude is healthy, he is going to have close to 150 RBIs. He is absolutely fucking outrageous at hitting in the middle of that lineup. So I think Yordan Alvarez is a great bet there. He's 7.5-1. If he plays a full healthy season, he's almost a lock.
Okay.
Pitchers, strikeouts. Spencer Strider is the overwhelming favorite here at plus 150. The next closest guy is Gossman at 9-1, and then Hunter Green, who throws 180 miles an hour at 12-1. Yeah, I think Spencer Strider is the easy pick here, but
180 miles an hour.
I mean, have you seen that guy pitch? It's ridiculous.
No. I think Strider doesn't Strider have the best K rate of all time, like right now?
Yeah. Him and the DeGrom, yeah, they're putting up he's putting up like video game numbers. And he really only throws 2 pitches, fastball, slider, but they're both so ridiculous that it doesn't really matter. Great mustache too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump into a couple win totals I like. I know this is gonna be a homer pick again, but 90.5 for the Orioles seems ridiculously low. We won 101 games last year. And it seems like we only got better. Yeah, it sucks we lost Bradish and Batista, but we added Corbin Burns. We have all of these young dudes are going to come up in the middle of the season. I don't think Felix Batista is worth 12 wins. So I know there's some regression that could happen. I know it could maybe not be over 100 again. We could win 95 games and comfortably win this division, I think. Yeah, I think Orioles over 90.5, I think is a slam dunk.
I like that too. I actually got him at 89.5 on FanDuel, so love that.
There you go.
I think that's a good one. Just perusing through these quickly. The Nats at 66.5, I kind of like. I would take the over. They won 71 last year, and I mean, theoretically they should be better with younger guys. Who knows? But I think I could see that. Oakland at 57.5 might be too high.
Oh,
I said that earlier. Yeah, 57 is way too many.
Yeah,
there's no way they're going to win that many games.
The Braves is at 101.5. That's wild. I mean,
not touching that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll probably go over, but I can't in good conscience put money on someone to win 102 fucking games. The Diamondbacks are at 83.5. Like, they were in the World Series last year. They got Eduardo Rodriguez. I think he's hurt, but like they're going to be good. I'd be surprised if they don't win 84 games. I kind of like that. But I'm just like spitballing on here. Like, the Reds at 81.5. I picked them to win the fucking division, so they better go over. But yeah.
Brooks, Brian, what do you guys got? You got anything you like here?
No, I'm out on this one. I don't really have enough knowledge. I didn't look at the win total, but
fair enough.
Just going off what you guys are saying, I basically agree with everything Floyd said. I know that's a cheap answer, but I really do.
Yeah.
No, I really like the Orioles over. I think Kimbrel's going to fill a gap there. It's not going to be a 12-win gap there. That seems a little ridiculous. And started to look like he was coming on at the end of spring training. So
got that change up.
I know. What the hell was that?
One thing about Kimbrel too is I think he is a risk. Like, I think he'll be fine to get through the season, and maybe he's not someone you want closing in Game 7 of a World Series. But like, I see a lot of people freaking out about not having Bautista, and maybe Kimbrel's a mess, and like, maybe he is, but there's a billion relievers out there. Games. So like, if you get to May or June and you're like, all right, this isn't the guy, then you go get someone else. Like, there's going to be a million bad teams. So like, go get Kenley Jansen. The Red Sox are going to suck. Like, you can find another closer if you need to, and it's not going to cost you that much. So I'm not. I mean, you're not going to find anyone that did what Bautista did, because he was just a 2-inning machine. But I think they'll be fine. And for the most part, I think he'll be fine. I mean, he's going to blow games. Bautista blew games, but
let's be realistic a little bit here. I mean, he's like, what, 37, 30, something like that, years old. He's not what he was. He's not gonna have his best stuff every night like he used to. He's gonna blow some games. He's gonna blow a lot more games than Batista did, but he's gonna fill a gap for a while. I think he's gonna be salvageable. I think they'll be here all season. I really do think that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I got to jump off. You guys enjoy the rest of the podcast. Thank you to everybody who's paying attention and watching. And I'll see you guys next week. All right.
See you, buddy.
Good luck.
See you,
Safe
buddy.
travels. Going off of what Foy said a little bit there, I do want to mention the Red Sox under 77.5. I don't think they're going to win even close to 80 games. I think this starting rotation is a complete joke. They added Lucas Giolito, and he's out to get Tommy John before the season even started. Their opening day starter, his name is Brian Bayo, who I believe was one of their bigger prospects a couple years ago. Had over a 4 ERA in his rookie year last year. I mean, if you just look at their rotation, it's just not a major league standard up to major league standards, and certainly not up to standards in this division, which is going to be probably, if not one of the most competitive divisions in baseball. I don't see any way that they win 77, 78 games. No shot.
Yeah, I think they're gonna stink.
Yeah, I think they're gonna totally stink. I think they're gonna stink, and I can't wait because I fucking hate them. So.
Yeah, they're gonna be rough, and I like Foy's pick with the Nats too. I think they're gonna win more games than whatever it was, 71 games or whatever, 69 games, whatever they were slotted.
I think it was 66 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They won.
Sean, I don't know if Brooks sent you over the notes that we have down here, but if you guys want to, I think we're kind of putting a bow on the baseball here, on the baseball talk here. We're gonna just talk about for the next 15-20 minutes, talk about just the stuff that happened in other sports this week. March Madness, first and second round. I do want to talk about the most glaring thing to me is Calipari. Calipari loses to and Kentucky loses to 14 seeded Oakland. Do we think Calipari's washed? He hasn't made it past the second round of the tournament since 2019. He's had NBA talent on all of these teams, and the last two out of the last 3 years, he hasn't made it past the round of 32. I think that's pretty ridiculous. As 2 and 3 seeds, do we think he's washed?
I don't think he's washed. I mean, obviously, they've had a couple not Kentucky-like years, and is definitely worth, Kentucky fans are nuts, but I can totally understand being super frustrated. I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere. They're not going to pay $30 million for him to walk away, but at least I don't think so. But I wouldn't say he's washed, but I mean, he uses a style that's risky and it hits, and a lot of times it doesn't. And I mean, part of it is also like in a vacuum, they lost to a team where a kid hit fucking 10 threes. Like,
yeah,
they were going to beat a lot of teams like that, but in that situation, but life's not in a vacuum. So you remember the other losses too. They've got like a crazy record of losing to double-digit seeds or seeds worse than them. Now, granted, most seeds are worse than them because they're normally in the top, 6. But I mean, I would take him if he decided he wanted to go to West Virginia for a few years. I wouldn't be upset about it. But I could totally understand them, fans being frustrated. Like he's gonna be it's gonna be a little toxic there next year, assuming he comes back.
Yeah, they've had a frustrating couple of years just with everything you said, and I mean a lot of it has to be given to a lot of these teams that they're losing to have been playing together for 3 and 4 years and transferring out of places like Virginia Tech or wherever they're transferring out of, like these other schools, and taking their COVID years, and they played together for 3, 4, 5 years now, and they're just a whole lot more experienced than these one and dones. Which is, I sound like a broken record to probably everybody on TV right now, but it's true. I mean, some of the camaraderie in playing together. I mean, it's gonna overtake talent sometimes, and like you said, Foy, making 10 threes, like, I mean, that's how teams get upset every single year, is when somebody gets hot from 3, whether it be a whole team or one guy, or one guy can carry somebody through a whole tournament that gets hot. So I think Kentucky fans are, they're upset, and Dustin and I are going to get the full effect here in a couple of weeks when we go down there. I'll probably start throwing some digs at some people at some bars to see what they're thinking. But I know that they're calling for Calipari's head. He's got like a lifetime contract or whatever. And I think Foy, what you said, I think the only way to get out of it is to pay him $30 million to cancel that lifetime contract or whatever. But I mean, you got to give him a couple more years. if he's not showing any changes, like it's almost like he's got to change his approach a little bit. But
He's
I don't
not
know.
gonna. I mean,
And it's kind of
some
hard.
of it too is also just shit luck. Like they weren't a super young team a couple years ago. They had Oscar Sheboy, who was like a fourth-year player, West Virginia transfer, best big guy in the country, and a couple other seniors, and they lost. Like, which it doesn't help him. It's just it's another loss, but it's not all full freshman teams. But yeah, I mean, you run the risk of having 19-year-old kids playing against 24-year-old 6-year COVID seniors.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also like everybody else has kind of caught up to him a little bit. I mean, I think we all are pretty knowledgeable in the fact that Calipari and Coach K were skirting the rules a little bit here and really good at doing it. And now that other teams can do it legally, I think people are getting a little bit more level of a playing field to get some of these higher end recruits. So,
yeah. All right. Well, Calipari is not quite washed yet, according to our panel of experts here. Yale takes down Auburn. It kind of feels like an Ivy League school team always makes it through the first round in this tournament. Grand Canyon is a team we talked about with Brandon Crone last week. It was a sleeper we liked. They won in the first round and played a really tough game in the second round against Alabama, but just fell short. The only double-digit seed left in the tournament is NC State. They're an 11 seed. They had a magical run to the ACC tournament. They are as hot as possible. They won in overtime against Oakland. I think I watched that whole game. I think Oakland probably should have won that game, but good for NC State.
DJ Burns is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a tough matchup for them taking on Marquette. Tyler Kolek is so good.
So good.
And if they get through Marquette, they're going to play the winner of Houston and Duke. So it's not going to get much easier. But look, they just beat Duke, I believe, in the ACC tournament. So
yeah,
they've
been awesome to watch. Go ahead.
Two of those upsets, Yale and I forget who else. They kind of came back down the earth in that second game and got beat by 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Whoever played Purdue, can't remember.
I will have that up in 1 second. It was Utah State.
Utah State.
Yeah. They beat TCU, who I think a lot of people had as a sleeper, and then they just got absolutely trounced by Purdue.
Might be Purdue's year. They're hot too.
Yeah, they're playing Gonzaga, who I didn't think was that great, but they kind of just absolutely demolished Kansas the other day. So who knows? I mean, the tournament is always crazy. But this year it seems a little bit more chalky. Last year there was a 4, 2 5s, and a 9 in the Final Four. This year it's a little bit more chalk. Not as many higher seeded teams left.
I think it's been
I kind of like it. I mean,
I can remember in a while.
The upsets are awesome, but like the second weekend when you get awesome matchups, the JMU story was great, but I didn't need to see them lose by 100 to Duke. Wisconsin's probably a better game. Now Duke might have kicked their ass too, but the upsets are awesome the first 2 days, like in the first round, but then it's the quality of basketball is just great the second weekend when you get Houston and Duke and and NC State's been fun to watch. Like DJ Burns is such a beast. He's so fun to watch. And I've Hillary went to NC State. She's from Raleigh, so I've kind of adopted them. They've been fun to follow. So I think they're probably gonna, probably gonna turn into a pumpkin on Friday against Marquette. Marquette's really good. Kolek is such a stud. But they've been fun to watch. It's been cool. I'm very excited to see that game and just the rest of the matchups and figure out if someone's going to beat UConn.
Yeah. Marquee matchup for me to watch is Tennessee Creighton. I think Creighton's like a super dark horse to come out of that conference. If Purdue's not going to win that conference or in that region, I think Creighton will. I think they're that good. Look for them. I have them losing to UConn in the championship, so maybe I'm a little biased. My bracket's kind of fucked already, but I think everybody's is a little bit by now.
I'm excited to watch
unless you're picking chalk.
Gonzaga.
Yeah, unless you pick chalk, I guess the first couple of days would have been no good for you, but recently it would have been good. Switching to golf, we'll go over golf real quick here. 300-1 winner this week at Copperhead. Peter Malnati, first PGA Tour win in 9 years, over 250 events in between victories. So good for that guy. Cam Young made a charge on Sunday. I love him. I think we love him on this podcast because he's sponsored by Major League Baseball. He has a Major League Baseball patch on his polo, which is outrageous. He's got some sort of family member that's a higher up in baseball. I've never seen a professional athlete sponsored by another professional organization.
So I Googled that like 2 months ago. Apparently his family, they're members of at the same country club that Manfred is. So like
is that
10 years ago when I think when he was on the Cord Ferry tour, or maybe even before that, like Manfred knows him and he was like, hey, like, would you put our, I think joked, was like, would you be willing to put the MLB logo on there? And he was at that point, he's probably like, fuck it, I'll take any sort of support. Like I'm scratching clawing to make the tour. And now he's blown up. So like the patch has moved, but yeah, it's very random, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It is really cool.
Yeah, I think
the first time I saw it, it was awesome.
Somebody like 15 years ago was sponsored by like the NBA. They brought it up on one of the coverage when I was watching one of the tournaments, but it was a long time ago, 15, 20 years ago. But I think besides that, he's the only one.
I do want to talk about him just for a second. He was the 2022 Rookie of the Year, so 2 years ago, but he still never won on tour. This is going to be his 7th second-place finish, all coming in the last 2.5 seasons. So this dude is right on the cusp of breaking through. Really hoping he can do it, but hoping he doesn't turn into the next guy we're going to talk about, Xander Shoffley. Xander Shoffley, I said a couple weeks ago, is the kind of guy who, if he has the lead on Sunday, you can count on coming in 5th. If he's in 40th on Sunday, you can also count on him coming in 5th. And this week was no different. He was the favorite to win this tournament by a lot. He was 8-1 going into the tournament. He was 8 shots back to start Sunday. He shot a 65 and he finished T5. It was the absolute perfect Xander Shoffley Sunday. I love the guy, but dude, you got to win. You can't just keep sneaking into these top 5s when you're not competing in the tournaments. We will move on now to football. We've got a couple new rule changes. I didn't look super in depth on these kickoff rules that came out this morning. But I did see a couple rules that caught my eye. Most notably, the NFL owners unanimously voted to ban the hip drop tackle. This is the tackle, a form of tackle that led to Mark Andrews missing most of the end of last season. It's basically when a defender grabs an offensive player around their waist and then just basically drags their legs, they go limp in their lower half. And then it happens to a lot of players that they roll their ankles. It's almost like a gator roll kind of thing. It's a super dangerous form of tackling. But I pose the question to you guys. How are you supposed to tackle players in the NFL?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can understand the idea behind it because people are getting hurt, but I don't know how they're going to how they're gonna do it. It's just gonna be
What are you supposed to just ride them? Like people are gonna get on people's back and just ride them for 15 yards now. I mean, because you can't pull them down in any way from behind at all, really. At this point, there's
you can't go
high. You can't go low. You can't grab the horse collar, which all that's understandable. I get it. But I mean, there's got to be some give here. We're not like there's going to be no way to tackle these people besides like jumping in front of them like a dolphin and hopefully you trip them. Like, Christ. I hate this rule. Like, I understand. Like, it sucks that this does cause a lot of gruesome injuries. But I mean, we still got like chop blocks and shit in the league. Like, I mean, this is stupid. Like, I don't. We'll see how it goes. I think I don't love it, but
we'll see how it goes. Like I said, there are new kickoff rules that came out this morning. I haven't looked super into them. I know they came from the XFL. If anybody has more knowledge than I do on that, you're more than welcome to talk about it here.
Yeah.
Looks like Sean has something to say.
I think it is. I could be wrong, but I saw something brief on Twitter. I think you kick off and both teams, the kicking team and the receiving team are kind of lined up like 10 or 15 yards from where the guy who's receiving it, and they can't move until he catches it. So it's I think that it looks weird, but I think it was pretty well received in the XFL. I think the point is to encourage more returns, more big plays, but it minimizes or it eliminates like guys building up a 50-yard head of steam. So like you're more just kind of in a confined space. It will definitely look gimmicky and weird, but most of the people that I've mentioned it on Twitter, like that I follow around the league, have said like this will look weird, but like it will definitely be like we'll get used to it and it'll create more big plays and more returns and like it'll be cool. But
it'll be fine.
I think, yeah,
it'll be fine. It's a pretty well run. Like people run this in practice all the time. It's basically like a lifesaver drill for the guys doing kickoff drills in practice and stuff. So they don't have to run as far. But it's not really going to move the needle yet because they only changed like the kickoff rule like 5 yards. It's because they're still trying to eliminate touchback. So it's still not going to stop kickers from throwing it into the end, kicking it into as far as they can into the end zone. But what they did is they also, they don't bring it out to the 35 or the 25. And that they're only bringing it out to the 20 or something like that, and it's just not enough to move the needle. They need to do like 10 yards for people to actually stop kicking it all the way into the end zone, or they need to move the kicker back, which I don't remember if that was in the rule change or not. I need to look at it again, but it's not enough to move the needle for kickers and special team coordinators. Not to say just kick it as far as you can in the end zone, and we'll line up at the 20, 25.
Yeah. One other rule I thought was interesting. I didn't see this until this morning, but it was on ESPN.com. So forgive me if this is whatever. New challenge rules. So previously, in order to get a third challenge, you had to win both of your first two challenges. But the Lions, I guess, proposed a new rule where you only have to win one out of the two. So if you win one of your first two challenges, you now get a third challenge, and that has been voted in by the owners.
I kind of like that. Like,
it's basically like, why do you have to lose a challenge if you get one right? You know,
right? Like, why do I lose a challenge because you made the wrong call? Like, I get not wanting them to have 10 different challenges because they would challenge everything, but like, I shouldn't have to get two things right to get a challenge back. Like you fucked up. So yeah, I like it. I also did see it came over in the last few minutes that they're going to play a game. They're going to play games on Christmas Day again, which isn't surprising because they did it this year, but Christmas Day is on a Wednesday. So it's going to be weird. Like a lot of people assume like, hey, they crushed Christmas and the NBA's pissed because the NFL pretty much took Christmas from them. But
Christmas is the NFL's day now.
Yeah, but like it's Wednesday. So I think a lot of people thought like they're not going to play a game in the middle of the week. But yeah, some report just came out that I don't know if it's going to be one game or what. I would think they'd play at least two. But yeah. Which I liked having Christmas football on Christmas.
I loved it.
But it is going to be weird, like
Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday. Night game. Yeah, that's weird.
You're gonna have to make sure. You're gonna have to
have a bye week the week
team
before.
Coming off a bye, or a team plays Thursday the week prior. Like it's got to be something like that.
Yeah, they can't play on Sunday and then play on
no
Wednesday.
Chance.
A couple other things happened around the league this week I want to touch on quickly. Chiefs traded their star corner, L'Jarius Sneed, to the Titans for a third rounder and then a swap of late round picks. Obviously, this is just a salary dump move for the Chiefs, but I think it's a pretty significant move. I think L'Jarius Sneed was one of their best players in the playoffs last year, especially on the defensive side. He was set to make $20 million or just around $20 million on the franchise tag this year for the Chiefs. And I mean, for the Titans, look, I think everyone was kind of shitting on them when they fired Vrabel, but I can't knock anything they've done since. So they picked up L'Jarius Sneed for a third. I assume they're going to pay him, give him a long-term contract. They picked up Tony Pollard, Kenneth Murray, Chidobe Awuzie, Calvin Ridley. I think they overpaid a little bit, but they had to. But they're giving Will Levis the reins, and they're going to give him a chance to succeed. And I think they're retooling pretty well. That division is going from looking pretty terrible to all of a sudden looking pretty scary. What do you guys think about this trade or whatever? What are the implications of it?
Yeah, I mean, having a good corner is invaluable. So, I mean, the Chiefs are loaded. So I get, having when you're paying your quarterback $1 billion, it's coming, you got to subtract that money from somewhere. But good for the Titans. I mean, I don't know if Will Levis is any good, so they might be back in the quarterback carousel in a year. But never a bad thing to add a stud corner.
Yeah,
it's just a salary dump. I mean, they basically traded him for a bag of balls, which sucks.
yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to take that bag of balls right there. But I mean, we
We don't have
can't
the
afford
money.
a $20 million corner, so not many people
we
can.
can't.
So
No.
they were kind of limited on where they were going to have to dump them. So
Yeah, and everyone around the league kind of knew that they were trying to move him, so they lose their leverage when that kind of thing happens. It's the same thing with Chicago, why they only got what they did for Fields. Everyone knew that they were moving on. They didn't play the game well enough to make people think that they were going to move that number one pick, and you know. Anyway, moving on. Mike Williams, big name for the Chargers the last couple of years, but he can't really stay on the field. Signs a 1-year deal with the Jets, up to $15 million. I assume this is heavily incentive based, and the baseline is a lot lower than the $15 million that's reported. But the Jets add another big name free agent, has trouble staying on the field. They added last week. They added Tyron Smith, who has had trouble staying on the field as well. They traded the Ravens actually for Morgan Moses, who's an older right tackle, has had problems with injuries in the past. I think this Jets roster is really weirdly constructed. I think that they have the potential to be have a huge offensive year, but they also have the potential to have a completely disastrous season, depending on if these pieces start kind of falling off.
yeah,
you guys see
it's going to be injury based. It's going to be injury based. Like you said, if they all stay healthy, could be a great year for them. Because they're retooling that line, getting another weapon. But I mean, this is kind of like a who knows. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if they can stay healthy.
Yeah. I mean, all this is just all their eggs are in the Aaron Rodgers basket, and if he stays healthy, then they don't need all of these to go right. But if they all go right and he stays healthy, then shit, they could be pretty damn good. But if it all goes right and Rodgers isn't good or gets hurt again, it doesn't matter. So seems like they just know like this is the final window with Rodgers. Let's put let's get a ton of 1-year deals and veteran guys who, raise our floor. And, if Rodgers is good, then I mean, Rodgers annoys me. Like he's been kind of a douche the last few years. I loved him for a while, but I hope he's good because I hope he's healthy because I want to see what they look like if he's good. Like it was kind of disappointing that he lasted 3 snaps last year. Just such I mean, it's no one's fault, freak accident, but it's just, bad for the league. I want to see how it works out, whether it's good or bad. I still want to see it play out.
And they're picking 10. Sorry, they're picking 10th this year too, and there's rumors that if one of those top 3 stud receivers between Odunze, Neighbors, and Harrison, if one of them falls to 10, maybe they'll just grab him too. They'll have Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, and insert from Odunze, and then you got a freaking studs. You got a bunch of studs.
That's pretty damn.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I've seen too. I mean, and any team that Rodgers is on, it's going to be they're not going to be out of it. I mean, the guy still slings it.
And Breece Hall is a stud too, so they're going to have that bread and butter running game too. And if he can run the ball successfully behind this newly constructed offensive line, Rodgers is just going to eat off of play action, especially with all these weapons.
He's not afraid to do it either. I mean, he'd rather work off play action. I mean,
oh yeah, I think, and most veteran quarterbacks would. I mean, if you look what Flacco did just last year with Cleveland, I mean, he worked most of his success came off play action. Moving on to Minnesota, the Vikings took the Houston Texans first round pick. Looks like they're kind of positioning themselves to trade up for a quarterback. They signed Sam Darnold for a 1-year deal. He's kind of like a 1-year, $10 million, so it's kind of like a bridge contract. Most people expect that they're going to be looking to add a quarterback. So now they got two first rounders. They traded their second rounder this year, number 42 overall. Their second rounder next year, and a 6th rounder for the Texans first round pick. So they traded 2 seconds and a 6th for a 1st and a 7th, essentially. So now they got 2 first rounders as ammo to move up to 3 for Jaden Daniels or Drake May, or maybe move up to 6 for JJ McCarthy, or whatever logical thing makes sense.
Everything I'm seeing is that O'Connell loves JJ McCarthy. Absolutely loves him. Didn't even go to his pro day because I think they're all set I mean, and that could be just smoke, but I mean, this is bullshit season right now. So, but everything I've seen in all the way that they're acting, at least towards JJ McCarthy, it seems like that's the guy that they want. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, when you let Cousins leave, because you don't want to match what he's gonna get in Atlanta. You got to have a backup plan in with a draft that's got all these allegedly stud quarterbacks. You think you to figure out a way to get one of them. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I do want to ask you, Sean. Sorry, go ahead.
O'Connell's offense is primed for pretty much anybody to come in and play pretty well. I actually thought that might be a good little spot for Flacco to go too, but I mean they got Darnold, so I mean that kind of pulled that off the table.
Yeah. I do want to, while we have Sean on, I want to ask you, what do you want the Washington Footballs to do with the number 2 overall pick?
I think I want Jaden Daniels. I mean, if they took Drake May, I'm not going to be upset. The guy's got a ton of tools and could be good. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be more like plug and play, and they'll start whoever they draft probably week 1, no matter what. But I think May might be more of a project. Yeah, I mean, Mariota is just your backup that you can get by on a couple games if you need to. But yeah, I think I want Daniels. I mean, he's such a freak. He really only had one really good year, but he's got all the tools. Like he was, the best player in the country last year, and I'm worried that he's not great at avoiding contact, and he might, someone might break him in half. But he's fun as shit to watch. So, I mean, I'm not like fully invested in either of them. There's all these rumors that they like JJ McCarthy too, but apparently like their new GM, Adam Peters, who they hired from the Niners, is like notorious for like, they're like a pretty tight ship. Like no one has any idea what they're doing. Even the local guys who like follow them, like the local beat guys are like we've got no clue.
They're
like most of the reports are just coming around other teams thinking what they'll do. Like there was a report yesterday that a lot of people at the combine were saying they think they're going to take JJ McCarthy at 2, but 5 years ago, everyone thought the Niners were going to take Mac Jones at 2 when they made that trade, but they took Trey Lance. Now they would suck, so it wouldn't matter. But I think I want, if I had to pick one, I'd take Jaden Daniels. I mean, I'm kind of intrigued by the idea of like fleecing someone and moving back 6 picks and getting 3 more picks, but hopefully you're never picking in the top 2 again. So you kind of need to take advantage of it when you're up there.
Yeah. I think trading Sam Howell to the Seahawks, correct?
Yep.
I think trading Sam Howell was the defining moment for me. That says they're not trading that pick. I think they're taking the quarterback. Right. I think if they had plans to take the Godfather offer for that pick and let somebody else take the quarterback, I think they would have stuck with Sam Howell for one more year.
Agreed.
And the quarterback class, by all accounts, next year is not great. I know they got Deion's kid. But yeah, I don't think it's a stud class, especially not like this one. I mean, I've said this before, but it feels like quarterbacks used to kind of be like a coin flip, whether they're going to be good or bad. Now it kind of feels more like it's like 25-30% if they're going to be good or bad. And it all depends on where they land and the situation they end up in. So I think they will be taking a quarterback. I don't want to watch Marcus Mariota play any more football. So God, I hope whoever they take is good because that dude couldn't throw a 10-yard out 2 years ago for the Falcons. His shoulder is completely shot. I can't stand it. I don't want to watch bad football. And watched a lot of bad football out of Washington in the last 10 years. So I'm really hoping they hit.
Haven't we all?
On somebody. Yeah.
I mean, if I were a Washington football fan, I'm on the Jaden Daniels train as well. That would be my pick if I were GM down there, but that'll never happen. I'm not smart enough for
that. I think that's pretty much all we got for the rundown this week. Is there anything else you guys have you want to talk about this week or I think
I don't. Just excited for opening day. Hoping the weather breaks. It's looking a little better as of today, but who knows? Just pumped to have baseball to watch and follow Holiday in AAA and do the countdown and watch Orioles Twitter implode when Hyde puts out a punt lineup every Sunday. It's going to be great. But I'm pumped. I'm just pumped to watch it.
we're facing, I think, two of our first three games against. So two of the games against the Angels are going to be left-handed starters, and I think the lineups are going to look a little weird, and people are going to freak out.
Yeah,
Because Hyde loves playing those righty-lefty matchups, and I don't think Kowser's going to play in either of those games, and people are going to be pissed.
Yeah, and if Nevin is that final spot, I mean, I think they're probably trying to find someone on the waiver wire for the final spot. But if it's Tyler Nevin, he's gonna start one of those games at DH, and people are gonna hate it. But
yeah,
they won 101 games last year. They know what they're doing. But I'm just excited to watch it. Excited to see Burns. Excited to see Grayson. I'm excited to have a game. I'm gonna be very bitter on all these random off days that they have in the first 2 weeks, dealing with everyone's opening day. It's such a tease having like a game Thursday and then not having one Friday. But I'm pumped.
I'm hoping the weather holds too. I'll be up there. I'll be up there tomorrow. And I'll be there through Thursday for the game, and then obviously hopefully it doesn't get rained out. But I have to work Friday morning back in Ocean City, so it's going to be a really hungover drive on Friday morning if they play on Thursday.
Do you have tickets for Thursday?
I don't yet. I'm trying to figure that out, but
gotcha.
I will be there regardless. I will by hook or by crook find my way into that stadium if I have to scalp one right outside the hour before. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, they're crazy expensive on like secondary market right now, but they'll plummet in the next couple days. But nice. Do you have any plans pregame?
No, I mean usually we just hit up Sliders, which is now section whatever
771. Yeah, I think we'll be over there. Maybe hit like outside of Quigley's. I'll text you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yeah, keep us updated how it looks out there. Maybe we can get a couple videos that we can throw up.
Yeah.
For anybody who's not at the game, and gotta give a little shout out to who is it, Paul Valley, who was calling out Brandon Hyde and all these fucking decisions that he's making. That as Foy was saying, like people are gonna freak out on Twitter seeing some of these lineups. Yeah, let's keep freaking out about a guy who wins over 100 games and turn this franchise around. So shut the hell up, Paul.
Yeah, Orioles Twitter is so entertaining, but it's like, people are nuts.
Yeah. One last shout out to all the first responders that were there at the Key Bridge this morning. This shit is just absolutely
crazy.
Bananas. I can't believe I woke up to like 65 text messages this morning. I really hope everyone is being as safe as they can out there. It's a crazy situation. Baltimore is going to take a little bit of a hit, but we're resilient. We're a resilient town, and we got baseball coming. Hopefully that'll cheer everyone up.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do have some first responders on hand to throw out the first pitch or something on Thursday. Place will be rocking. Yeah, it's just insane. Like almost seems like a scene from a movie. I mean, I'm looking at the news right now, and the video was crazy, but now that it's light out, like actually seeing it is just wild. It's crazy. But hopefully everyone's all right, and just wild. Be interesting to see what the next few weeks hold, but hopefully the Birds can get some wins for everyone and get the good vibes going.
Positive vibes going. I've had this turned around the whole time, but
look at this nice hat. That's money.
Brooks got me this hat a couple years ago, and I have no idea when I'm going to be able to wear it in public, but I've worn it to the beach a bunch.
That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a beachy hat.
Anyway. Yeah, it is certainly. Oh man, my hats all fall over there. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. I hope you guys learned something about something. And we're gonna put all these picks that we made for the MLB preview show. We're gonna put those on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you can follow that. And at the end of the season, we'll see who hit on the most things. We'll kind of let you guys give us some feedback, or we'll come up with something internally to figure out whoever had the worst picks is gonna take some sort of punishment. We'll figure that out.
Cool. That works.
Anyway,
sounds good, guys.
Thanks to Sean Foy for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
See you, boys.
Thank you.
See you guys.